Thank you, Kate, and I'm very pleased to say the wait is over. BC Place in Vancouver ready to host a much-anticipated West semifinal between the Calgary Stampeders and BC Lions. 3 meetings in the regular season, 2 of them thrillers. Despite having 12 wins, Calgary will open up on the road. I'm so fired up on the BC side of things. We get Nathan Rourke's playoff debut.
Yeah, Nathan Rourke played about 3 series in the final game of the regular season to test out the injury in the rehab. He's had a great week of practice, and remember, when he started the season, he led the Lions to an 8-1 start after 9 games. This will be his first start in the postseason, and it will also be Jake Maier's first start for the Calgary Stampeders. On the same weekend that Rourke was injured, Maier took over for the legend Bo Levi Mitchell. He is 6-3 as the starter since then.
BC Lions 12-6, Calgary 12-6. BC at home 6-3, jam-packed BC. The road 7-2 on the road so far this season. They won the coin toss. They elected to take the football. The upper deck is open. The roof is closed, and we are underway at BC Place. Spot in Winnipeg awaits the winner of this game. Here's a nice return from Philpott to open things up. Takes it out to the 40. A little bit of rough stuff at the end of that opening return, and that's where we get our look at Jake Maier.
Yeah, I mentioned 6-3 since taking over for Bo Levi Mitchell. His best game passing this year was against the BC Lions back in September, mid-September, when he threw for 301 yards.
Had 3 touchdowns in that game as well. And a nice start here would go a long way for Calgary. They're a little bit of a weird team in that way. They are 5-2 when they trail at the half. So getting a better start is something they have talked about. Let's see what they can do here. 4 options wide right for Maier. That's where he's going to throw it. It falls low. And Reggie Begelton cannot haul it in. First incompletion of the game for this Calgary Stampeders offense.
Yeah, about 4 games ago, Derek Dennis, their starting left tackle, went down. Hugh Thornton took over for him. Then he got hurt. They went with Josh Coker. They're back to Hugh Thornton. Don't be surprised if you see Bryce Bell in that spot as well. And they get their speedster, their 1,000-yard receiver, Malik Henry. He missed the final 3 games of the regular season. Back in the lineup starting tonight.
Malik Henry, top of your screen. That's where he's set up. Maier dumps it off underneath to Kadeem Carey, cuts it back, trying to push to the 50, and he might be just shy of a first down. Got second and almost 10 on that play.
Yeah, no surprise that all the talk this week has been about the Calgary run game and Kadeem Carey, the leading rusher in the Canadian Football League. And what does Calgary and Dave Dickenson do in their first 2 offensive plays? Throw the ball. The chess match begins.
This is what you thought we were going to do? Surprise! Tommy Stevens is going to come into the game here. Excellent in short yardage situations. Also had an 85-yard rushing touchdown last week. Big 3rd and 1 here at midfield to start this football game. Stevens pushing ahead, and it looked like he got enough. Needed to get to the 51, and certainly managed to get that. Here's a look at this BC Lions defense.
Nobum Guachim on at defensive end for the BC Lions. Sione Tuhema will start in that spot. 8 sacks on the season for Tuhema. And if you go back to that linebacking core, talked about the key matchup, the game inside the game. Calgary's run against the BC front 7, led by Jordan Williams at middle linebacker, led their team in tackles. TJ Lee, their veteran in the secondary, did not play the final game of the season, but he's back in the lineup for this playoff game.
1st and 10 near midfield for Maier. Over the middle, he has Henry. First touch of the game for the scary Malik Henry, and he's able to haul it in for a big pickup on first down.
Well, that's just it. I mean, the key to Malik Henry's game is his speed. So not only when he is the intended target is he important because he can gain or create that separation, but also assisting on other.
Now they'll get it to Begelton. Broke 1 tackle, wrapped up a 2nd time, short gain on first down.
Also assisting on other routes when he can take the defense and draw the coverage for his teammates. So Dave Dickenson knows he's got that speedster at wide receiver back in the lineup. If the BC Lions defensively try to jam the line of scrimmage, look to them to go to Malik Henry early and often.
2nd and 6 for for Jake Mayer. 4 options out to his left. They'll hand it off. Kadeem Carey makes one man miss. He's got a first down. Creeping towards the BC 30-yard line. Close to 9 yards on the ground for Carey.
Yeah, this offensive line for Calgary has been so physical. And one of the main reasons why this run game is going, whether it's Kadeem Carey, we'll see a little bit of Dietrich Mills as well tonight, or this afternoon, but look at the hole off tackle for Kadeem Carey.
7th play of the opening drive for the visitors. Looking to strike first. Mayer dumps it off. Far side, a little bit of room. Eventually Henry forced out of bounds, but they got him involved early here for a guy who's been playing on a bummed ankle here against the BC Lions tonight.
Yeah, a couple days ago came to practice for the BC Lions. Rick Campbell and his crew were here for the announcement that the BC Lions will host the 2024 Grey Cup Championship here in BC, and I asked him about the coaching staff and what their plan on defense is. We got to stop the run. We've got to stop the run.
Jake Mayer 3 of 4 through the air for 28 yards on this opening drive. 5-man pressure. Mayer gets it away, defended well, and batted down on 2nd and 5. Looking back to Henry yet again. Marcus Sayles right in the mix.
Just a dig route, and you know, if the BC defense is going to be real focused on the run, and I know Jake Mayer has thrown a bunch in this first drive, then it's going to put the secondary in a lot of one-on-one coverage, because the linebackers are going to be up at the line of scrimmage trying to stop Kadeem Carey. But Ryan Phillips is okay with that. He's got a veteran secondary. He's okay to put the pressure on them in those one-on-one matchups.
Not only a veteran secondary, but veteran secondary had a really good season as well. Paredes to open the scoring, and he will punch it home, firing at a 90% clip. So
well, I mentioned he was 8-1 as a starter before the injury, was averaging 372 yards passing per game, had thrown 25 touchdowns to 10 interceptions, and the Lions were 8-1.
Got back into action last week, threw the ball 11 times, completed 7 of them, played about a quarter to wrap up the regular season. Looks to be throwing here, dumps it off, that's his running back. Butler tracked down from behind, pushed towards the line. They'll give him about 8 or 9 on this play. Here's the BC Lions offense.
Yeah, no Joel Figueroa at left tackle, so Jarrell Broxton will bounce out to that left tackle spot. Philip Norman comes off the injury list. He is back at his familiar guard position. They get Brian Burnham back in the lineup. He's missed a few games this year due to injury. Their #1 guy down the field, Dominic Rhymes. 11 touchdowns for Rhymes this season.
Brian Burnham playing just 9 games this year. And now on 2nd and short, they will push it ahead for a BC Lions first down against this Calgary Stampeders defense.
Well, he gets better with age. 34-year-old Sean Lemon, 2nd in the league in sacks, a finalist for the outstanding defensive player in the Canadian Football League, and his career sack total 5th all-time. Cameron Judge was their nominee for outstanding Canadian playmaker in the linebacking core, and the leader in knockdowns this year in the Canadian Football League was corner Jonathan Moxey. But changes in that secondary for Calgary. See how they hold up.
13 knockdowns for Moxey this year. Rourke fakes the handoff. Time in the pocket. Now they're going to pressure him out. He's going to take off on the run. Gets to midfield. Goes down, and a pretty decent chunk on first down to Rourke. They'll give him 5 yards as he got flushed out of the pocket, and he made the most of it.
Yeah, well, good coverage downfield, first of all, and that's why he couldn't find a target. But I think one of the things that a lot of people wanted to see with Nathan Rourke and his ahead-of-schedule return was this. Can he take off? Can he push off on that foot, take off and run? Because that was a big part of his game before the injury.
So 2nd and 5 for the Lions, just on Calgary's side of the field. 3-man pressure from the Stampeders. Rourke gets it away just in time. Up for grabs. Falls incomplete. Multiple flags on the play. He was looking for Keon Hatcher, working against Moxey. And the flag here to keep this drive alive for the BC Lions.
utility player and just so versatile. Keon Hatcher on this
defensive
dig
pass
route.
interference. Calgary, number 2. Ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. First down, BC.
Clearly contact early there from Jonathan Moxey, but Keon Hatcher playing for Lucky Whitehead at that short side wideout spot.
Lucky Whitehead not available after a 1,000-yard season, had 1,011 yards, 3 touchdowns, unable to go in this game. They'll slide Hatcher out into his spot. Work 1st and 10 from the Calgary 32. They'll get it to Butler. Butler pushing ahead, and boy, a lot of talk about the Calgary run game, but Butler and the Lions run game has been excellent as of late.
Yeah, right behind Kadeem Carey in the overall list, 26 yards back of Carey, and a guy who got more touches than any tailback in the CFL. So, you know, whether it's that quick game with Nathan Rourke in the first half of the season, getting it to him on the bubble screens and the, you know, the straight screens and check downs, but also just in that straight run game. Over 200 attempts this year.
Almost 600 yards in his last 6 games. They go back to him again. Huge hole right up the middle, down to the 10, down to the 5, and eventually tracked down James Butler with a hard 24 yards early in this game.
And this offensive line's been playing great as well all season, whether it's been Vernon Adams or Nathan Rourke behind him. And one of the questions was Broxton at tackle. This is just his 5th start in the Canadian Football League, and he gets the kick-out block on Cam Judge and just opens up a massive hole off that left side.
Nice drive being put together by the BC Lions. One big penalty against Moxey, and all of a sudden, after a 24-yard scamper from Butler, 1st and goal from the 5 for the Lions. They'll go back to Butler again, patiently waiting for something to open up. It will not. Jameer Thurman, one of his good friends, is able to track him down and wrap him up.
Yeah, a couple things. Timing off here offensively on the handoff, but also Braxton, the left tackle, is going to try and pull to the side of the play here, which is the right side of the formation. He gets all tangled up, and his footwork, he has some issues with that. That bubbles him back, and just this play didn't have a chance.
Broxton's a big guy, 6'5", 325 out of Baylor. 2nd and goal from the Calgary 8. Rourke wants to throw this time, and that is incomplete. Looking for Catoy, and it was Thurman there defensively again.
Good season for Javon Catoy, but this time Jameer Thurman right there to shut it down. I mean, Catoy right here, spotlight on him. He's going to try and run that curl and just bang back to the outside. Curl inside and then bang out. And the ball placed where it had to be, but he couldn't hang on. He's playing with a bit of a Charlie horse, too, in this playoff game. That happened late in that final game of the regular season in Winnipeg.
Had been very reliable for those teams so far. 74% catch rate this year for Catoy. And Sean White will answer Paredes. How many times will we say that today? Sean White, 92% on the year. We are tied at 3 early in BC.
Want it more because it means more. Because this team is coming together. I got 100% faith. It's going to be a tough-ass game. Don't think it's going to go perfect. Stay together, lock in, and be us. Be the Calgary Stampeders. Dominate on 3. 1, 2, 3. Dominate.
Oh, that gets you fired up, doesn't it?
Sir, let's go.
Yeah, we need somebody in the truck to do the same thing for us prior to the game, eh? That'd be great. Come on. That'd be amazing.
Well, let's see if it works. Calgary, first drive, settled for 3. We'll start this one, obviously, on their 40 after the Sean White triple to tie him. Here's Mayer. Out into the flat, drops it into the arms of Sindani, and Sindani takes it, turns it upfield, crosses midfield. Big pickup there on the first play of this drive.
Outstanding patience and execution from Jake Mayer here. He knows he's going to wait until he gets Malik Henry way wide and outside, outflanking the defense. But he had to be patient to let his receiver get out there.
Malik Henry getting involved in the offense heavily here in the early going. Mayer with time, far side, drops it into Beggleton. Beggleton turns, lowers his shoulder, tries to push ahead for a first down. Might be stopped just short. Let's go to head coach Dave Dickinson on the return of Malik Henry.
I'm just hopeful he can be himself, because it is a high ankle sprain, and I think we all know those linger. It was one of those that you can't wait till next week. You just can't, because there is no guarantees. So you got to play a guy, and you got to hope that he's himself. And if he is, I think he really helps our team. If he can't make it through the game, we've got a plan, but it won't be the same team out there.
2nd and 1. Stevens into the game, and he's going to decide to take a shot deep down the field off the helmet of the defender, and it falls incomplete. Gary Peters trailing there against Malik Henry, and it bounces off his lid.
Yeah, he was trailing, and this is, a shot, a chance to get your #1 guy in that one-on-one matchup with Gary Peters. And Peters, he had him. He was in behind him by a step. If that ball is way out in front and Malik Henry gets a chance to run it down, he's got a chance. But it's a little short. That allows Peters to get back in the mix. 5 picks on the season for Gary Peters.
This time Stevens up under center, 3rd and short, pushing it ahead. The big fella just rumbles all the way down to the BC Lions 40. Henry has, he's looked good for a guy who's coming in with that high ankle issue.
Yeah, missed 5 games total, but the last 3, and high ankles do linger. The 1,000-yard receiver for the Calgary Stampeders, despite losing 5 games in the regular season. But again, to me, it's a matchup question. And if the Lions are going to play and rely on their veteran secondary to play man, look for Malik Henry.
1st and 10 from the BC 40. Mayer in trouble, tries to get away, throws it, has a completion down the field. William Longley was there to save his quarterback, who was under significant pressure from the Lions.
Well, this Lions front 4, pretty good year getting after quarterbacks. They ranked 3rd coming in with 45 sacks in the regular season. Sione Tehema gets some pressure. Big season by Matthew Betts.
2nd and 7 for Mayer, just inside the BC 40. Looking around, will he take off? He will, lowers his shoulder, trying to lunge ahead. And that'll be 3rd and short, about a yard shy of where they needed to be.
And you will not see him do this very often. He is a pocket passer. It's great movement in the pocket, manages it well. But, this is playoff time. It's whatever it takes time of year. And Jake Mayer gets Tommy Stevens back on the field.
For a 3rd time already today, they'll go for it on 3rd down. Stevens again, needing a yard again. And this time they'll tuck it in the arms of Henry, trying to find some room on the outside, avoids a couple of tackles, flags on the play as they try to push him over the 30, but he will be denied.
He'll be denied, and I think there may have been a block from behind, and that was probably the penalty flag. This is always the gamble when you take the ball wide along the line of scrimmage rather than just driving behind your center or guard.
A little too risky there?
Well, no, I mean, it works, and it worked for Tommy Stevens in the past.
He kept
illegal
it, yeah.
block, Calgary, number 66. 10-yard penalty, repeat, 3rd down. That penalty, the previous penalty, will be declined. The ball will be turned over on downs.
Yeah, that
1st down, BC.
Yeah, they just had to clean that up.
They had me confused for a second, but that'll be a turnover on downs. 3rd and short.
First time in a long time.
After a turnover on downs, Burke gets the ball back. Nice tackle on that play as he got it to Ryan. About a minute remaining here in the 1st quarter. Tied at 3. Both teams putting together some drives, though, in this football game.
And relatively penalty-free, although one on that 3rd down.
Rourke with 3 options out to his wide side right. Looks over the middle, now out to the right. has a completion that should be enough for a first down as he gets it to Alexander Hollins for the first time today.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to keep in mind when we're watching both of these quarterbacks here this afternoon is that this is their first playoff game and how much composure they have. This is a 24-year-old starter this season. Great composure, eyes downfield.
Work this time. Far side, drops it in there just enough to Rhymes, who gets back up and eventually is pushed out of bounds, trying to get the crowd going here at BC Place. Very nice crowd here on a Sunday afternoon in Vancouver.
Absolutely, pushing 40,000 here in BC Place. And if any of the big cities across our country are wondering, here is the blueprint how to start the rebuild here in Vancouver.
They've turned it around quickly, haven't they? Final play of the quarter. They'll hand it off to Butler, and he is hammered before he even gets back to the line of scrimmage. Jameer Thurman and this Calgary defense doing a number on the BC Lions. James Butler, Nathan Rourke, and the BC Lions against the Calgary Stampeders. 1 quarter in the books. We're deadlocked at 3 in Vancouver. We've got a tie at 3 at BC Place here in this West semifinal. Lots of talk coming in about the Calgary Stampeders' attack on the ground, and really haven't gone to it much so far in this game.
Yeah, in their last 2 regular season games, they rushed for over 500 yards as a team. Kadeem Carey, the leading rusher in the league. Kadeem Carey in that first quarter had just 1 carry out of the backfield. He caught a pass as well, but just 1 carry. So, I'm not, criticizing the play calling. It's just sometimes coaches will say, the BC Lions know we're going to run it, so let's try and change it up, go with the pass game early, and then settle into it later. But sometimes you can overthink that because the strength of the Calgary offense has been their run game on first down.
Rourke, 4 of 5 for 31 yards. 2nd and 10 from his own 54. Rourke gets it away. Great tackle on the play. It's a complete pass made to Catoy. But Jameer Thurman, who has been all over the field so far in this game, is able to wrap him up.
Yeah, he really has. And in this play, he's so tuned in and picks up the crossing route from Javon Catoy. He was dropping back, almost spying Nathan Rourke from running, and then he realized, hey, this receiver is going to be open if I let him cross the field, jumped him, and made the tackle.
3rd and 5. Rourke in the offense staying on the field from the Calgary 51.
You're trying to draw him offside. Oh, he worked. Got him.
Looks like it worked. Mike Rose unable to wait a couple more seconds.
Offside, Calgary, number 41. 5-yard penalty, first down BC.
Here he is, and I think it was the oversell from Nathan Rourke on the 2nd attempt that caused Mike Rose to jump into that neutral zone.
A little trash talk. Right in his face. So now they're up to the Calgary 46. Here's Rourke. And he's got a completion at the 35. And that's Keon Hatcher coming back to the football and moving the chains.
Yeah, and you got to keep in mind that Nathan Rourke here is, he's basically taken reps after being off for a few months, and he's going to slowly get back into that rhythm. The time that these two teams played in August when Rourke was in the lineup, they combined for 81 points.
Rourke again, just a ton of time in the pocket. Now eventually they're going to try to get to him, looking to escape, stays on his feet. Now we'll throw it down the field, and it falls incomplete.
You know, one of the question marks I had was the Calgary Stampeders have made so many changes throughout the last month and a half in their secondary. How would they play together? Good players back there, don't get me wrong, but the question was how would they play together? And I think they've done a great job. Rourke has worked in this quarter and a half to look down the field for those deep throws, and the secondary's got him covered down. He had lots of time there and no open target.
Leaves him in 2nd and 10. This time, near side, almost intercepted over the head of Natrell Jamerson, looking for Hatcher.
Yeah, this was Calgary playing a cover 2 look, which is 2 deep safeties to protect against the deep throw, and man-to-man underneath, and Natrell Jamerson, he is in a trail position. An out throw when a DB's in a trail position can be dangerous because if he turns at the right time, he can cut underneath it. That's exactly what Jamerson does and just misses what would have been a pick 6.
Right through his hands, then off of Hatcher's chest and incomplete, setting up Sean White from 41, right hash. And White, as steady as they come this season in the CFL, knocks another one through. BC Lions go on top, 6-3 at home.
Tyler Hubbard is one of the members of Georgia-Florida line, and that's going to be a great show at halftime. Good country music. 3 chords in the truth, man.
It kind of hits, doesn't it?
3 chords in the truth.
And Hubbard mixes it up a little bit too.
Yeah. Solo album.
Too many players in the huddle. Calgary. It's a 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
5-yard penalty for too many players in the huddle for the Calgary Stampeders.
Was it Dedrick Mills thought it was his turn, and
you know what he wants? He wants to get the ground game going. Right? He heard us coming back after the first quarter there. Time to establish the ground attack. You can do it with Kadeem Carey. You can do it with Dedrick Mills. We'll see what they decide to do here now. 1st and 20. They will get it to Kadeem Carey. And he has nowhere to go.
yeah, that penalty makes it more difficult, obviously. I mean, you go back now 5 yards, now you're 1st and 15, and I agree. We were in the commercial break talking about Calgary probably getting their run game going, and Kadeem Carey and maybe some more Dedrick Mills. They get that penalty, run on 1st down. Now they're looking at 2nd and a punt.
Jake Mayer with 3 options out to his right. Mayer started the game 6 of 8 for 58. 3-man pressure. Mayer steps up. Thought about taking off. They're closing on him quickly. Try to track him down, and they will. Mayer was waiting for somebody to come back to the ball, and eventually David Menard tracked him down.
Yeah, he takes the long way, too. David Menard comes from the backside of this play. Keeps working, having a career year, 9 sacks in the regular season. He's on the bottom of this line, and he's going to run him down all the way to the opposite side of the field. Keep working. Don't quit.
Trying to strip that thing away, wasn't he? Cody Grace sets a kick. Just got it away. Might have been deflected. Still managed to get it all the way down the field. Picked up at the 35. The Lions brought some heat on that one. Well, Brian Burnham back in the lineup for the BC Lions. For more on his situation, let's send it down to Farhan Lalji.
Guys, Brian Burnham and his wife Aubrey have been unable to have a child for medical reasons, so the couple has been looking to adopt. Now, in the offseason, they were given a young son, a 3-year-old, from the social services department in Oklahoma, and they've been fostering him with hopes of eventually adopting him. Well, about 1 week before Burnham broke his wrist, that same ministry or agency offered them 2 other children, 2 other daughters, a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old. So sure enough, they decided to take them, and Burnham, after injuring himself, went home to Oklahoma so that he could help Aubrey with the children. You know, he always grew up in a large family. He hoped that he would be able to do the same when he eventually became a father. Again, this is a fostering process right now, but he said, wow, 1 and 3, that is a whole lot different. Be careful what you wish for, but I wouldn't have it any other way. He had to leave a full house to be here, and as soon as the season ends, he's going back home, hopefully in a couple more weeks.
Well, the Lions are happy to have him back. I'm sure the family's waiting for him to come back. And, yeah, from 1 to 3, just like that, be a little bit busy for you.
And I think Brian Burnham would hope that that return to the family is at the end of November.
With a ring on his hand?
With a ring on his finger. Just one of the all-time greats in Canadian Football League history. And as good as he is as a player, Brian Burnham will be a fantastic dad, and he's a better person. And I talked to Nathan Rourke about the return of Brian Burnham, and he said, you know, he's just one of those guys that when you're in the huddle with Brian Burnham and you look up and you look over, you just feel better. Everybody just feels better.
Everybody calms down.
It's a calming feeling. He carries himself that way. But I know what that feels like when, you know, everybody's kind of like got their hair on fire and you're standing in the huddle wondering what you're going to do next. And you look over at one guy and it's that calm veteran presence. That's Brian Burnham. And Nathan Rourke said, I need him in that huddle.
3rd and a yard. Trying to push ahead. Needed
to be close
to get to the 49.
Boy, this would be close.
Was the initial push enough?
It comes down to where the foot goes down for the official. So tough to see. Antonio Pipkin off the left side. He got looked like the forward progress got him real close when he got pulled back. TJ Rayam got his hands on him and didn't give him enough.
Just enough. As that ball sits at the 49. And Rourke in the offense back out here on the field. 1st and 10. They'll hand it off again to Butler. Decent hole. Bounces off one man. All the way up to the 50. Ball pops loose. Scooped up. And Moxie's got it for the Stampeders. Turnover at midfield. As Moxie found a loose ball out of the hands of Butler, and Calgary takes over on the turnover from James Butler. Big play by the Stampeders defense. Here's another look at it. Rimolade trying to strip it away. Wall in on it as well. Calgary's got it. Calgary defense stepping up big. Here's another look. It was very close, but Butler never went down.
I think it was Rimolade who rips it out, and I don't think, but it's coming out there, and they've reviewed it. All turnovers are reviewed at the command center. They're gonna this fumble's gonna stand. Looked like that ball came out. It was the correct call, and of more concern for Lions fans. James Butler got twisted down there.
Twisted up pretty good, didn't he? They'll take a look at him as Jake Mayer and the Calgary offense takes over. They'll get it to Kadeem Carey. Carey staying on his feet down inside the 40 for a few hard extra yards. And he's very close to a 1st down. Looks like they're going to give it to him.
Now, you knew Dave Dickinson would not stay away from the run all game. He's going to bring balance to his offense. And how about this balance for a tailback? Hand on the ground. That's why you run that drill where you switch hands and you put your hand down and then you switch hands and put your hand down. That's why you run the drill right there.
You don't lead the league in rushing going down easily, do you? Back to Carey again. And this time a short pickup. Van Halatic there to take him down that time.
Yeah, your leading rusher in the Canadian Football League, Kadeem Carey. 1,088 yards, did not play in the final game of the regular season. And we haven't seen Dedrick Mills yet either. He's dressed and ready to go and take his turn. Mills had 200-yard games to end the regular season.
Averages 6.9 yards per carry himself, slightly better than Kadeem Carey at 6.6. It's Kadeem in there now to the left of Mayer. Mayer out to his right, over the middle. Bangleton's got it, puts on the brakes, tries to cut it back, and will be stopped just short of the BC Lions 20, but that's enough for a Calgary first down, 13 yards to Reggie Bangleton, his third catch of the game.
You know, it's one thing to have your quarterback face three-man pressure and all that coverage in the back end, but will he be patient? Will he hang in there, knowing it's just three-man pressure, wait for his receivers to work into an open space?
First and 10 from the BC 21. Some pressure this time by BC, and that is batted down. Oh, that would have been going back the other way as well. Matthew Betts had it hit him in the hands.
In an interesting foot race, defensive end and quarterback trying to catch him. But now both teams have had a crack at an interception and just missed it. This one a little tougher. Matthew Betts, first of all, not used to handling the football, but also that happens pretty quickly. You stick your hand up and hits it. Defensive coordinator Ron Phillips said to me he's going to put some pressure on his DBs to cover.
Defense looking for a huge stop here on 2nd and 10. Mayer towards the end zone. Incomplete. Lamar Jordan, the intended target. Not sure he ever had a crack at it.
Not sure if he had a crack at it. Good coverage and safety help over the top. He's going to run a corner route. Like the play call, though, for Jake Mayer and his decision to go to this, because if he doesn't get it, then it's incomplete. Field goal team comes up, and that's why he threw it to the outside shoulder. Kamar Jordan turned inside, but he wanted on that outside so that if it was incomplete, it wasn't a risk of getting an interception.
Ryan Phillips fired up on the sideline. Paredes out to tie this game at 6. And it's been Paredes versus Sean White so far in the West semifinal. They're both perfect, and we're tied at 6. 6-6 as BC plays. Winner advances to a meeting with the Bombers at IG Field a week from today. And both offenses, would you say conservative a little bit so far? Not a lot of deep shots down the field just yet.
Well, I think there's been some coverage downfield.
Yeah,
that's why they're checking it down.
Rourke starts on his own 40. Gets it away, and that one will fall incomplete. Rourke ends up on his backside with that pressure coming from the Calgary front.
Yeah, I think that's what jumps out at me with this Calgary defense right now. First of all, Jameer Thurman's having a great first half in the linebacker spot and getting a little bit of pressure. The pocket collapses here, but look at the coverage. I mean, blankets thrown on those BC receivers, which is surprising. Dominique Ryan, we haven't mentioned Brian Burnham other than that he's returning to the game. Jordan Maximit's got Brent Monson's winning that chess match with Jordan Maximic right now.
Flag on this play. Rourke tracked down, drops it off, and another flag at the end of that play as Mike Rose took Rourke down. So I think there's multiple penalties on this play. There was flags thrown on both sides of the field. Then at the end of the play, as Rourke was taken down, another flag was tossed.
2 penalties on the play. Offside, BC number 13. Major foul, roughing the passer, horse collar tackle, Calgary number 41. This will be a 10-yard difference, automatic first down.
Well, the bigger of the 2 penalties is the horse collar here, because it gives BC the first down. Again, you don't have to, as a ball carrier, go backwards for it to be called a horse collar. As long as the tackler has you by the back of the shoulder pads, it's going to be called.
Rourke this time guns it in there, and here is Brian Burnham.
There he is.
Good zip on that ball into a tight window.
It really was. That's what we saw in the first half of the regular season from Kid Canada. Great quick recognition, assessing what he needs to do in the defense and accuracy on the throw in a real tight window.
19 yards to Burnham. Now they'll try to push it back ahead up the middle of the field with James Butler, who's back in the game. Farhan passed along to us that they retaped both of his ankles. Might be dealing with a bit of a knee issue as well. But once again, if you don't win it today, your season is over. James Butler trying to tough it out. 6 carries for 39 yards so far in a 6-6 ball game. Here's Rourke down the field. Another completion inside the 15 to Hatcher. And the BC Lions are in business.
Real subtle movement from the pocket for Nathan Rourke here to just slide outside, so he's got a nice throwing lane to the outside to that out route by Keon Hatcher. A step and a half on Kobe Williams.
Second trip to the red zone today for the Lions after a 25-yard completion to Hatcher. Rourke hit as he throws to the end zone. Touchdown, BC! Alexander Hollins pulls it in, and the Lions go on top 12-6.
Our Hall of Fame quarterback said before the game, Nathan Rourke is all in. He's got his chips in the middle of the table. He pump fakes here knowing he's going to get hit as he delivers this strike to the corner to Hollins. Touchdown BC. Sometimes you have to pay the price.
Alexander Hollins, just 1 touchdown in the regular season, his first in the Canadian Football League. Playing today because Lucky Whitehead could not go. Sean White for the extra point, knocks it through. He's only missed 1 all season, and BC's on top 13-16.
Well, based on the throwing action by Rourke, watch the other end of it. This is the route inside, double move, and then down the field from Alex Hollins. And this is what I mean about Rourke. He knows with his pump fake, the pocket's collapsing. He's going to take a hit, but he should have a wide open receiver. He does. Takes the hit, pays full retail to throw the touchdown pass.
This kind of summarizes BC's receiving core, doesn't it? You move guys all around. You got Hatcher last year, who was kind of like Hollins this year. Hatcher became a 1,000-yard guy this year. They have Alexander Hollins out of Eastern Illinois that they can slide in there. And Jordan McSimic, the offensive coordinator, almost looked like a nervous cheer, wasn't it?
Well, you've heard many times this is a game of inches, football, but it's also a game of split seconds. Arimolade got there, but a split second late.
Crowd here at BC Place loving it. 2.5 minutes for Calgary to answer with some momentum of their own. Philpott, the rookie, awaiting this kick. Takes it just inside the 15. Back to the 30. And up to the 35, and that is where he will step out of bounds. Let's take another look at Hollins' first career playoff touchdown.
Not even full seconds. I'm talking split seconds. Flo Arimolade right here. Up the field, great inside move. He's getting home a split second earlier, and that's a sack. And Arimolade looks hands in the air as he gets up. He looks at Roy, goes, ah. So close.
Almost had him. 6-play, 70-yard drive, ends up in the end zone. And now Calgary will work from their own 37. They'll toss it out to Henry. Took a big hit, but is able to get a decent chunk on first down. Gary Peters was there. Now they come face to face.
He went airborne and got the extra 3 yards that he got traveling through the air after that hit. And it's not just the quarterbacks that are laying it on the line in the playoffs.
Kadeem Carey looking for a first down. He's got it. A little bit more for good measure. And he'll take it on to BC's side of the field. With 2 minutes and 11 seconds remaining here in the first half. 13-yard scamper for Kadeem Carey.
Good hard run by Carey. And watch Gary Peters at the end of this. The second guy in on a tackle like this is going to be taught to try and rip the ball out. Gary Peters is trying to rip the ball out.
Death grip on it from Carey, though. Wasn't going anywhere. Mayer gets it to Philpott. Philpott lowers the shoulder, accepts the boom, and gets about half of what they needed. First catch of the game for Philpott, who had 3 touchdowns in his rookie season. That's Dedrick Mills in at running back next to Mayer. Everybody's pointing at everybody. There was no initial reaction from the officials. Now they'll come together for a brief discussion.
Yeah, they'll get some help from the command center as well. But, you know, I've been impressed this first half with both the composure of Jake Mayer and, you know, the execution.
Procedure, Calgary, number 69. 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
Julian Good-Jones.
He's 8 of 12. I mean, their numbers in a lot of ways are jumping off the board. Nice touchdown throw from Nathan Rourke. He's over 100 yards in the first half. But I just like their composure. I'll remind fans again, these are young guys. I mean, Jake's 25, Nathan Rourke 24. This is their first playoff start. Packed house, a lot of pressure. You know, win or go home game. Pretty good composure from these young pivots.
Stamps are 3 for 9 on second downs so far this afternoon. Mayer over the middle, a little too high for the intended target. He was looking for Begelton, and it'll fall incomplete, bringing up 3rd and 10 for the visitors.
Boy, they really leaned on Reggie Begelton in the regular season when Malik Henry went down. He's to the right of your screen running the dig route. I thought this ball was pretty catchable in the world of Reggie Begelton. A little bit high and outside, but I've seen him make that catch before many times.
Begelton just 43 yards shy of a 1,000-yard season for the Stampeders. Grace kicks it away. This is the second punt of the ball game.
No yards.
No yards on that return. Not one.
It's a 15-yard penalty, and it's lots of time for more points.
Well, next Sunday, the action continues. IG Field for the Bombers in the winner of this game. And we'll head off to Toronto for the Argos and the Alouettes. That should be a good one, shouldn't it?
Congratulations to the Montreal Alouettes and their organization. Trevor Harris and crew advance after a big win over Hamilton. Say with a minute 35, Nathan Rourke's got some time here.
Lots of time.
15-yard penalty was a big one.
Drive will start on his own 41. 95 seconds to work. Over 100 yards on the day and a touchdown to Alex Hollins. Rourke. Hatcher. Got it. Coming back to the ball. They'll mark him down at the 49. 8-yard pickup to Hatcher.
Again, good accuracy here from Rourke. Pocket is maintained nicely by the O-line. They make sure he's got the throwing lane he needs.
4th catch of the game for Hatcher. Now Rourke hands it off. Heavy collisions at the 50. Needed the 51 for a first down. This will all depend on the spot.
You know, Nathan Rourke's taken a couple of hits, and, you know, just wondering about that plant foot and that foot injury. It was an accurate throw, but is he stepping into it like he did to start this game?
Well, he was curled up pretty good on that touchdown pass by Rumalade. And they're going to be
a little bit short.
Just short. So it'll be 3rd and not much at all. And this has got Antonio Pipkin written all over it here for the BC Lions. You see him number 17 with the black numbers on the dark gray jerseys. Not a huge fan of the dark. No, yeah, you got the orange outline though.
But the fans are a huge fan.
They're great looking jerseys. They are great looking unis. And there, look at that push from Pipkin. That's a no-doubter as he pushes ahead. For more on Rourke, let's send it down to Farhan Lalji.
Yeah, guys, to Glenn's point, I do see a bit more of it. I mean, he's trying really hard not to show a limp, but you're seeing it a little bit more on the sidelines as he's walking from person to person as opposed to what you might see on the field. So again, he hasn't been looked at by medical staff at any point, but I think he knows he's not necessarily 100%, and he's trying to limit the amount of stress and damage on the foot. One other thing to keep an eye on, when he gets hit, watch him kick his feet up in the air so he's not having to flex that foot and have that flexibility when he's dealing with any kind of a hit and, you know, when he's trying to roll on it. Watch him kick that foot up as he's on the way down.
Something to keep an eye on. Thank you, Farhan. A nice play by Tremaine Washington there to break this one up.
Yeah, again in that trail position, and when you're underneath the receiver, trailing him, knowing you have deep help over the top, you have a chance to make a play on throws that go directly to the receiver. And take a look at Rourke's feet as he stepped into that, and then just sort of lift him off the turf immediately.
2nd and 10, 52 seconds to work with. Over the middle, right at the first down marker. Goes back to Hollins, who's certainly getting involved here today. As a touchdown, that's his 3rd catch of the game.
Tough to cover out of that bunch in a zone. Almost have to jump it. Take a look at the plan.
3rd and inches. Pipkin called into duty again, and that'll be more than enough as Pipkin does his job and will allow Rourke to stroll back out here as they work their way towards Sean White field goal range with 40 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, about a first down away from that.
Three options to the right here for Rourke. That's where he's going to look first. Pressure up the middle, hit and taken down. Cam Judge with a huge sack late in the 2nd quarter.
Boy, he's been a playmaker this year, leading the league in the new stat. The stat that shows how many times a defender actually makes a play that causes a turnover. Now, this one doesn't cause a turnover, but big play on the sack to push him well out of field goal range.
Loss of 6, 2nd and 16. High snap, Rourke calls it in, no problem. In trouble again and take it down. Arimalade gets home, and the Stampeders defense comes up huge late in the first half.
Rimalade's been close. Remember when he was close on the touchdown throw? He threw his hands up. He was like, man, I'm that close. I'm going to get home at one point or another. Maybe the most underrated defensive end in the Canadian Football League, Flo Rimalade, off the edge. He goes straight around Perkins.
Well, in the regular season, the 3 games they played, Calgary had an advantage of 11-0 in sacks. So far today, they have an advantage 2-1, but these 2 coming up very big, taking them out of field goal range for a defensive group that led the league with 56 sacks during the regular season, and that's going to do it for the first half. This was a fun one. Do not go anywhere. Second half's coming up, but first, an entertaining panel will have you covered. Let's send it to Kate and the guys.
And that entertaining panel is David Sanchez, Matt Dunnigan, Milt Stiegel, Paul LaPolice standing by as well. And Matt, let us begin with Nathan Rourke. It was hard to judge him against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers because we only saw him for 3 series there. Yeah. He did look comfortable to start this game. As Farhan Lalji did mention, though, maybe favoring that foot a little bit now, but he ends up 12-17, 131 yards and 1 touchdown in the first half.
Yeah, well, I'm sure Farhan's keeping a close eye at Nate Force. And, you know, as far as I'm concerned, people are out there playing and everybody's injured. And he's part of it, you know. But down to the goal line, I'm going to talk about Nathan Rourke. And he's got a veteran wide receiver in Brian Burnham, who's right there at the goal line. And this number 2 receiver, outside release by the wide out, takes a corner. He's looked at Burnham's way. Burnham takes it 5 yards into the end zone. That's 5 yards too deep. He sits in the front of that end zone line. Rourke is putting it on him. Those are 2 guys hadn't played ball in a long time together that are not on the same page. And here he finds right in the hole, and they get on the same page for his first and only catch of the first half. And I'm sure that, and it's good to see Hollins, Hatcher getting involved. Hatcher's only got, Rhymes has only got 2 catches in the first 30 minutes of play. So I think this football team is not hitting on all cylinders. They're very capable of being very explosive, but if they don't protect this quarterback better than they have in the last couple of series, it's going to be a long day, and he's not going to be able to limp off the football field. I'm having words with my offensive lineman right now at the halftime if I'm Nathan Rourke. I'm saying, guys, at least get a hand on him, slow him down, because that's a 3-man rush that's getting to Nathan Rourke right now.
13-6, these Calgary Stampeders are down, but it could be so much different. Scoring is so hard to do in the regular season, but even harder in the postseason. You think about this team right now. They're not taking advantage of their opportunities of getting off the field or staying on the field. You think about this right here. It was 3rd and 5. You have to realize where you're on the field, Mike Rose. You have to know that they're not going to snap the ball. They're trying to draw you off sides. That's a mental error. What happens after that? The BC Lions end up scoring. Then there was another opportunity where they had opportunity to stay on the field. And I would never question Dave Dixon as a head coach. He's done so much in this league. He's won so many games. But you're 3rd and 1. You have a 6'5", 245-pound backup quarterback who has a pretty good chance of getting that 3rd and 1. He decides to do a sweep to Malik Henry. And I know hindsight is 20/20, but you just have to stick it up in there. You have a possibility of kicking the field goal, and this game could be so much different. They're still in the game, but if those things don't go their ways, you know, you never know what can happen.
That's right.
Yeah, in playoff football, there's only a few opportunities, right, that we're gonna look back at a game and say, oh, we missed this chance. And both teams had a double move and chance for a big play. Jake Mayer had Malik Henry in the first half here. And if you look, he has a step on Gary Peters. If he lays it out there, let's be honest, this is pretty good transition from Gary Peters. So good coverage as well. He transitions out of this very nicely. If you think, if you wonder the speed of Gary Peters, there you go, because Malik Henry can flat out fly. And this one here, this is Natrell Jameson. His eyes are not on the prize. You got when you break on a slant, you have to break to the receiver, not break into the ball and Alex Collins' touchdown. But same route, slant and go, 2 different results. And when in a low-scoring game like this, that could be the difference.
All right, as promised, there is Paul LaPolice and Lapo. Obviously, the Stamps allow that touchdown, but then the defense even picked up momentum at the end of that half with the 2 sacks, but overall containing Nathan Rourke fairly well.
Yeah, you know, what I was surprised at is how they were going to play defense. They've done it with a lot of man coverage. You know, 6 of 9 passing for only 59 yards before those last 2 drives for him. So they've really done a nice job. How they've done it is, as there's max protection here by the BC Lions, right? They have 2 extra players in for protection. They're trying to get downfield and protect Nathan, but you've got a lot of guys in coverage. So they've got somebody handling the crossing route. They've also got, look how many people deep here. They rush 3, like the guys said on the panel, but you got guys in man coverage with a lot of help, and they're having trouble finding people to throw to, throwing underneath here on a 2nd and long, right? And then there's another play action as we get closer where they're trying to max protect to help the young quarterback, but Calgary's got a lot of people in deep zones, all right? As they look right here, they pass off the crosser. He's looking to go to, can I go to one of my backside routes? Well, there's a free safety there. So it has been difficult for him to try to find some of those explosive shots early in the game, and now the pass rush has got home. So Calgary's defense has done a great job of handling the explosiveness of this young quarterback and these explosive receivers.
Calgary's D doing their job. We'll see if their offense can capitalize on some more opportunities in the second half. Lions currently up 13-6. Coming up after the break, though, we're going to break down the Eastern semifinal between the Tiger Cats and the Alouettes.
A lot of talk about shutting down that Calgary offense and that running game, and I think that's been pretty good by the BC Lions, keeping them in check. And both young quarterbacks are faring fairly well, but this has all been defense in the first 30 minutes, Kate.
Here is Farhan Lalji with James Butler.
James, a lot of talk about Calgary's rushing attack. You guys seem to want to make a statement with your own. 8 carries, 44 yards for you. How involved do you feel?
Really involved, you know what I'm saying? Like, for me, it's always just whatever I can do. Whatever my role is, you know what I'm saying? I just try to take advantage of it.
You tweaked what appeared to be your ankle, maybe your knee when you went down in that one fumble. Just how do you feel?
I feel great. I feel good, you know what I'm saying? We got 30 minutes left. That's all we need. There's no tomorrow.
Thanks for this.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Vancouver, where the BC Lions lead 13-6 at the beginning of the third quarter. Farhan Lalji is with Stamps quarterback Jake Mayer.
Jake, just 76 yards passing in that first half. Really tough for either team to take a lot of shots downfield. What can you do to open things up a bit here in the second?
We got to play this out with no regrets, man. We got to let it rip, let it fly. Be aggressive. The only regret you have in playoff games is if you feel like you didn't give everything you got and you didn't put it all on the line. So that's what we got to do in the second half if we want to win this game.
It looked like you got Kadeem Carey a little more involved in the run game late in that second quarter. You expect to do more of that here?
Absolutely. He's been our guy all year. Nothing's going to change now. But like I said, we just got to be aggressive, go for it. Let's see what happens.
Thanks for this.
Thanks.
First career playoff game for both of these guys, Glenn.
Well, we saw some great throws and throws that we were used to seeing in the first half of the season from Nathan Rourke in that first half in this playoff game. And then he took some hits in the second quarter. Got him limping a little bit a couple of times. As Farhan mentioned, in that second quarter, he didn't want to show that he was limping. Got a new spat on the feet. We'll see how he does in the second half.
Long way to go in this one. It is the BC Lions on top 13-6 as Paredes gets us underway in the third quarter. He'll be caught, flipped back to Williams. Williams near side. Once he got to the middle of the field, he's wrapped up and taken down. Here's a look at the work of Nathan Rourke in the first half.
Yeah, his numbers are 12 of 17, 131. Had the real nice touchdown throw. The pocket collapsed around. Good pressure from the Calgary defensive front in that first half a couple of times. That forced some throws that weren't quite as accurate as we were used to seeing. And then he took some hits. And you notice that right now, his feet, that's in the first half. His shoes are just the shoes, no tape over the shoes. So he came out after the halftime break, and he has got full spat on both shoes.
We'll see how he holds up here in the second half, starting on his own 30. Looking down the field, deep shot to start it. Rhymes, he's got it! An old-timer from Dominic Rhymes as he goes up and hauls it in, and the Lions start the second half with a bang.
Dominic Rhymes catches this ball like he wants, this is one of those ones where he said, could you please start targeting me because I want to go get it. That's exactly what he does. You can't cover it much better, but Dominic Rhymes has done this to DBs all season long. A 37-yard gain to start the second half.
A jump ball beauty there from Rhymes working against Latrell Jamerson. 37 yards. Now they'll hand it off. Small pickup on first down in the hands of Butler.
Talking about banged up. Butler's banged up. I mean, he's gutting it out right now. The first quarter, Butler ran with that great speed and change of direction quickness that we're used to seeing and have seen all year. You could see he was a little hesitant to try and cut back on that run. He's trying to gut it out right now. They didn't dress tonight or today Bruce Anderson.
So it's the James Butler show at running back. He's got 47 yards on 9 carries. Now stands to the right of his quarterback. Rourke pressured from behind and will be taken down once again. Orimolade gets home, and he is having an absolutely monstrous day.
You know, the big season by Sean Lemon, you game plan against a real good pass rusher. Now, it looks like in this case it was just straight one-on-one blocking, and again, that's the second time that Orimolade has gone right around Kent Perkins.
Sean Lemon told us this week, Orimolade is one of the smartest people he's ever met in his entire life, and you never want to let him down. So everybody's going to have to elevate their play today to match that of Orimolade so far for the Calgary Stampeders. Bagleton takes that return out of bounds. Jake Mayer gets the ball, trailing 13-6. With CTV and TSN. Should be a great event. We got a great second half coming up here. Kadeem Carey on first down, really nowhere to go against this BC Lions defense.
I thought it was interesting in the first half that, you know, all the talk about stopping the Calgary run from those that were here in BC and the importance of that, the way they had run the ball over the last couple months, that Dave Dickinson only gave the ball to Kadeem Carey once in the first quarter, went to it more in the second quarter, and start this second half with a run to 35.
Nothing on that carry. Pressure coming. Mayer gets it away. Kadeem Carey wide open. Turns it upfield. Takes it outside the 40 and still going. Kadeem Carey to midfield and eventually tracked down from behind by Matthew Betts. Biggest play of the game for Kadeem Carey.
Composure from Jake Mayer as they drop out here because the Lions are coming with full blitz. They're bringing the safety, they're bringing Haladic, they're bringing linebackers, and Kadeem Carey sneaks out of the backfield. Now Jake Mayer's just got to float it out there to him. There's no one covering him down. So now it's just one-on-one into the secondary, and away he goes.
32 yards. Sets it up to the BC 52. Dedrick Mills into the game. Now Mills on the ground, churning those legs. Takes it down inside the 40. And that's one of the best rushes of the game for Calgary.
Going right behind Julian Good-Jones right here, coming off that side, and watch how low center of gravity, good drive in his legs, good blocking up front. They just block down, and 15-yard gain. First one of the night for Mills. And it's a first.
There. Takes the handoff to Mills, dumps it off to Henry. Henry on his feet, tracked down from behind. But that should be another first down for the Calgary Stampeders as they are moving the ball here in the third quarter.
Yeah, now you get the defense off balance. Now you've got the run game going. A couple of runs early on first down. Now you got the defense off balance. High percentage throw. TJ Lee had to give up his body here to try and take the first blocker out.
Sione Tehema with the eventual tackle. Calgary is 5-2 this season when they trail at halftime. Mayer thought about going to Henry. Now has time. Eventually will throw it over to Henry. Sidesteps one defender, pushing ahead, takes it down inside the 20. Ball pops loose on the far side of the field. And it looked like the Stampeders had a little battle for it here. But did Calgary hang on? Jones, the big fella, saves the day.
Keep hustling, keep working, playoff time. That's a defense or offensive lineman. You see the ball come out there. He may have been down first anyway.
Looked down, didn't he?
Yeah. They would have reviewed that. I think they would have maintained possession of the Calgary Stampeders anyway. That's good hustle by Julian Good-Jones. Don't stop until the whistle makes you stop.
7-yard pickup. First trip to the red zone today for the Stampeders. 2nd and 3. They'll hand it off, trying to find some space in the first
first down, and they will, in fact, be stopped short. It was Dedrick Mills on the carry.
Well, this isn't a gimme here. In fact, Tommy Stevens isn't even coming in because it's a couple of yards. Calgary trying to draw him offside first.
3rd and 2. The crowd trying to get behind this BC Lions defense.
That's what you try and do.
Nathan Rourke did it earlier in this game when he got Mike Rose to jump. BC Lions staying steady. Crowd loves it.
Timeout, Calgary.
And Dave Dickinson just decided, I think, to go for it. Because Malik Henry stepped onto the field and then looked like he was going to come back because they were going to send the field goal team out. And Dave Dickinson waved that off and said, let's go.
So now a 3rd and 2 after the timeout. Calgary Stampeders looks like they're going to pick it up here. Mayer dumps it off. Incomplete. Bagleton in the area. Henry in the area as well. And the Stampeders pass on a Paredes field goal. Leave 3 points hanging out there. Needed this right here for a first down. Little hesitation, and it falls incomplete. Well, after a turnover on downs, the BC Lions will get this ball back just inside their own 20. Calgary could have been a Paredes field goal attempt. And instead, they go for it on 3rd and 2. Use a timeout to set that situation up. And are unable to get the job done. BC leading 13-6. And a completion for a first down as Rourke guns it in there to Keon Hatcher.
Let's go back to that 3rd down play and the decision by Dave Dickinson. And this is the issue. This is the original route by Bagleton. He tries to go here and is anticipated to go wider by Jake Mayer. This is a first curl route. He sits there, then he goes wide, and then he stops and hesitates right on the hash mark. And that's where the miscommunication happens.
Butler, far side of Rimolade, eventually forces him out of bounds. I wonder if he stopped and hesitated because Malik Henry was right in front of him, and he too kind of took off to the left. Right?
Exactly. It was just a bit of a scramble rule there, and the communication dropped for a split second. That's all it takes. You can't blame that one on Mayer because he was trying to throw it to where he thought Bagleton was going. But we'll see if the Calgary defense can get the stop here and limit the damage.
Stampeders still just a couple of Paredes field goals to show for it so far today. Find themselves down 7. 2nd and 4 here for Rourke. 3 options to his wide side right. Stampeders are going to bring some pressure. Rourke gets it away as he's hit, falls incomplete. Flag on the far side of the field. Rourke picks himself back up here, and we'll get this sorted out.
Brent Monson, defense coordinator, is sending pressure on Rourke. I think he may have noticed
offside. Calgary, number 9. 5-yard penalty. First down, BC.
He may have noticed what we've noticed with just the spat on Nathan Rourke's feet, and Rimolade is a little bit ahead of the snap, but will Rourke have the move? That was full blitz.
Javian Elliott who got there.
Coming from the secondary.
Rimolade with the early movement. He's got 2 sacks already so far here today. Now they'll hand it off to Butler, trying to push ahead. He certainly doesn't look right, does he? Looks a little limited on that play for Butler, who
injured himself in the first half.
Well, he's just his game, and he's so good at the redirection. I mean, just cutting on a dime, giving you some change, and then moving on. You know, I mean, that's what his game is. And then when he gets contact, the power from that low center of gravity has been, again, one of his superpowers. You take that away because he's on the limp a little bit, and he kind of hits right into the pile.
Still picked up 4 yards on that first down scamper. 2nd and 6. Rourke gets it away, has a completion for a first down. Dominic Rhymes coming back to that football, and the Lions move on to Calgary's side of the field.
Straight curl route here, and Rourke does step into this throw, but great curl route on the outside. This is one of the few times in this game so far Monson has gone with this man look. Nice curl route run by Rhymes.
9-yard pickup. Rourke in trouble, taken down right up the gut. It's Mike Rose.
He's got something. He's looking up. Usually those interior D linemen have their head down, but this time he steps out and comes inside on Philip Norman, who gets frozen there. It looks like he's looking for someone who's not there. And Mike Rose just shoots through that gap.
4th sack of the game for the Stampeders defense. 3 men front defensively here. Rourke looking down the field. Tight window, and it's caught.
Come on.
Brian Burnham hangs on just shy of a first down.
How does he fit this in? How does he thread this needle? The Calgary Stampeders were closer to the ball than his receiver. Burr, look at how tight that is. Wow. Timing to his veteran.
Just enough zip on this one.
And concentration by Burnham with Stampeders flying by.
Pipkin on 3rd and inches into the game to keep this drive alive. Takes the handoff. Now he's going to be throwing down the field. Got him in. Inside the 20. Keon Henry's gone. Touchdown Lions. Antonio Pipkin keeps it. Tosses it over the top to Hatcher for a 45-yard strike.
They're rocking here in BC Place. Pushing 40,000. Pretty excited about this play, and the gutsy call by the BC Lions staff to say, you know what we're going to do on short yardage? We're going to fake it, go over the top to Keon Hatcher. Wow.
So after a turnover on downs at the other end, it's an 8-play, 92-yard drive finished by Keon Hatcher. Extra point. Sean White knocks it home, and the BC Lions lead. A little trickery from the offense. Pipkin, here you take it. No. Instead, he finds Hatcher. See you later. Untouched for the house.
Back to the short yardage touchdown by Antonio Pipkin. Play made by number 17 because Javian Elliott isn't fooled by this play. I mean, he gets upfield. He's in the backfield, but Pipkin retreats. He doesn't step up to try to throw. He would have been sacked if he did. He retreats, and then he puts air under the ball so Keon Hatcher can run underneath.
All you have to do is get it out there, right?
Exactly.
Hatcher wide open. Rhymes was right there as well. Calgary.
Big foes, Zobug, baby. My dudes, you know what it is. We Hollywood, I love y'all.
Ends up, points the other way. Philpott on the return, looking to spark the Stampeders, and he'll take it all the way back out to the 40. The crowd here is loving it. How about the BC Lions? Yeah, they like it too, don't they? 20-6, the home side leads. For the game.
Yeah, exactly. So that's going to be a great halftime show. And I know people are you know, they're trying to get that enthusiasm going back in Saskatchewan because their team, of course, knocked out of playoff contention. But they'll bring it home. I guarantee you the Rider fans, Saskatchewan fans will make that one of the great Cup weeks of all time.
Well, and fans from across the country.
Absolutely.
I mean,
they'll all converge.
That's the best thing about Grey Cup, right?
Converge in Regina. Absolutely.
CFL fans from across the nation coming together for the biggest football game of them all. And there's a handoff to Kadeem Carey, who now just surpasses 40 yards on the ground so far today. We're late third quarter. That's stunning, considering what this ground game has done in the second half of the season.
Yeah, and now you're chasing on the scoreboard.
Yeah.
You know, and you go back, and I'm sure that Dave Dickinson is thinking about that third down decision, but that's behind him. You don't abandon the game plan just yet.
2nd and 4. Mir gets it away just in time. Bagleton's got it for a first down, and all the way up to midfield, eventually tossed heavily down to the turf. Betts came over there to help out TJ Lee and finish him off.
Boy, it looked like TJ Lee was breaking downhill on this, and Bagleton does a nice job. Venture move here to come back to the ball. That extra step eliminates the angle for TJ Lee to maybe get a chance at this one. Bagleton will run his out. He sees his quarterback in trouble, comes back, turned around for a 12-yard gain.
Jake Mayer, 12 of 18 for 138 in his first playoff start for the Stampeders. Mayer, pressure coming, gets it away just in time, up for grabs, falls incomplete. Jake Mayer absolutely destroyed as he let that ball go.
David Menard is coming off the edge, Dustin, and he's clean. They don't pick him up, and it's either a bust in protection or they're just outnumbering the blockers. Let's see, Sean McEwen saw him at the last second and tried to get there. I don't think for a second it was his guy, but he tried to get there late. Clean shot on Mayer. That one was almost picked off because of it.
Lucky it wasn't, especially with the way that this secondary has played for the Lions so far this season. 2nd and 10 now for Mayer. Pressure again. Gets this one away in no man's land, and it falls incomplete. BC Lions tucking their ears back and going after Jake Mayer here.
You got to be disciplined sometimes. The BC Lions defense calls up a secondary blitz this time. It's Marcus Sales that's going to come off the edge, and when he does, he's free. Now, he comes off the edge, and he makes a great decision. Sometimes you have to be disciplined. Yeah, it's a physical game. Yeah, you want to hit somebody, but don't take a penalty. He was a little bit late, didn't hit Jake Mayer, no flag.
Jake Mayer started this game 7 of 9. He's 5 for 11 since then. It results in a punt down the field. Williams got piled on as he was stumbling towards the turf. Let's send it down to Farhan Lalji.
Guys, it's been a slow afternoon so far for Sean Lemon, and it was a slow offseason, really the last couple of years, where he was a free agent looking for a contract, and in both cases, the Calgary Stampeders, who at one point thought maybe we want to get younger, brought him in. Now, he's not one of these players that desperately needs to play the game for financial reasons or doesn't have it figured out what he's going to do after his career ends. But those two off seasons, even though he could have walked away, it showed him just how much he absolutely loves the game. Yeah, he could continue with his real estate work or some of the investments he's got going on, but no, he wants to keep playing even at 34 years of age. And this may be his best season. 14 sacks. He's improved in his run defense. And right now, he wants to continue playing. He's hoping by next year he can reach that magical milestone of 100 sacks.
Well, with the way he's playing, he can certainly get there.
Also led the team with 5 forced fumbles, and Brent Monson, a big reason that Sean Lemon returned to Calgary. We talked to him on Zoom this week, and he couldn't say enough good things about his defensive coordinator and why he wanted to come and play for him. Lets the players play, make sure they're disciplined in their assignments, but
this is a Calgary defense that would certainly like to get a stop on this drive as they'll hand it off to Butler right up the middle.
But I'm cheering for him to come back, and Sean Lemon, great ambassador of the game, outstanding student of the game, said he learned a lot of his tricks, a lot of the tools in his toolbox from guys like Charleston Hughes and Odell Willis, two
pretty decent guys to learn from.
Big names off the edge in Canadian Football League history.
As the time ticks down on quarter number 3, second and short, Pipkin. And this time he's going to take off on the run. First down all the way out to the 45 as the BC Lions look to seal this one away. 20-6. They lead after 3 quarters. The BC Lions this season, when leading after 3, a perfect 11-0. The Stampeders will try to change that. Somebody is going to Winnipeg. Don't go anywhere. Place in Vancouver, everyone. It's the Lions on top 20-6 against the Calgary Stampeders. Calgary just 6 points so far in this ball game.
Back in. That's a veteran group, and Ryan Phillips, their defensive coordinator, was going to put pressure on him in this game to have to take care of some man-to-man coverage and be in the right places and take the guys and lock them down. And the deepest pass right now at this point for Jake Mayer after 3 quarters, 2 of his receivers, 17 yards. I mean, he has not been able to push the ball down the field and get in behind this veteran secondary. And you got to think, down in the scoreboard the way they are now, that's what they're going to have to do to come back.
Rourke has other things on his mind right now. Near side. Rhymes, great second effort to try to haul it in, but that will fall incomplete and bring up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, he fought that one. He's trying to tell the official he got jammed in the face on the release here. Again, DB's allowed to, well, this is the end of the play, and down, around. Wow, I wonder if he caught that.
That looked like it might have been a catch on second look.
Not even Rhymes was sure, because he really didn't argue
He didn't argue it at all either. From that angle, it looked like it might have been a catch. 2nd and 10 for Rourke. Gets it away down the field. Multiple flags on the play. Completion down inside the 50 to Rhymes, as this time he 100% hangs on, and a discussion for the officials here.
This is right in the holding area. They're talking about it. This is usually where you see a holding offense call.
2 penalties on the play. Illegal block, hands to the face, BC number 24. Illegal contact on a receiver, Calgary number 7. Penalties offset, 2nd down.
So James Butler protecting his quarterback, hands to the face, and then Javian Elliott down the field.
Yeah, that's going to come off the edge here, and Butler's going to get his hands right up in the face. So that's clearly a penalty. That's Sopik, Fraser Sopik, down at the bottom of your screen. Right there, tons of contact on Javon Couture.
So we'll do this again, 2nd and 10. Rourke over the middle again, up for grabs, almost picked off, falls incomplete. Titus Wall tried to reach back on it after it bounced off the hands of Rhymes, but it does fall harmlessly onto the turf.
Yeah, Nathan Rourke going right back to the well on that last play. He threw a strike to Rhymes that was taken off the board because of offsetting penalties. He went right back to it and almost got himself in trouble here, because that's a great play underneath to distract Rhymes.
Flintoff lets it fly. To be taken just inside the 20 by Henry. Hangs on to the ball, wrapped up after getting up to about the 25 or 26 on the return. Calgary's offense needs to clean things up a little bit here themselves and put together a drive, trailing by 14. They've left some points out there. There's no doubt about it. Working from their own 26. Mayer, far side. Oh, batted down. Great move on the ball from Rugamba.
It's the BC Lions nominee for Outstanding Rookie. 24-year-old Emmanuel Rugamba cuts underneath here. He has his right hand on the back of Begelton, but doesn't twist him around.
I was going to say, didn't turn him, eh?
Didn't turn him.
2nd and 10 now for Mayer. 12 of 21 in this game. Steps up. Over the middle, looking for Begelton, and that falls incomplete. Dropped it in over the linebackers, but Begelton couldn't get there.
Again, you're seeing just pretty good coverage downfield, and I think that's what Jake Mayer might be saying to his offensive line right now. You know, I'm trying to find it. He probably told his O-line, you're giving me enough time. This O-line gave up the fewest sacks any O-line in the league, and it wasn't even close during the regular season. Just 17 in 18 games. It's unheard of. He's got some time. He just can't find an open guy.
Towering kick here from Grace. Williams takes it cleanly, just inside his own 35. Up the middle, trying to kick it to the outside, but they held on. There is some space along the near sideline. If he is able to get away on that play, Charlie Moore was able to wrap him up. Couple of weeks. Speaking of Grey Cups, Amar Doman, he's got one coming to BC.
2024, and what a great job Amar Doman has done here in Vancouver.
When he took over, if you would have said, hey, you think you'll get 40,000 or close to 40,000 for a playoff game at home? He probably would have said yes, and we would have said you're crazy. But he's done it. And what a throw here by Rourke, and what a game for Hatcher. He hauls in his 7th. He's well over 100 yards.
You know, sometimes I think defensive backs that are in great coverage, and there was another one in great coverage on Hatcher here, are just so surprised on the accuracy and how he got the ball right there. I mean, that Jamerson was playing as good as you could play.
Rourke's at 241 yards and a passing touchdown so far today. Lets this one go with his running back for a very short pickup, at least back to the line of scrimmage there for James Butler.
You go up and down the streets of Vancouver here in downtown, and you will see BC Lion banners everywhere. Amar Doman has invested his time, his resources, and re-engaged the BC fan base. For this playoff game, he worked ticket packages for Vancouver Island, Kamloops, Kelowna, Hope. And maybe that's only 100 fans, or maybe it's 200, but that 200 have a good time tonight. They go back and it becomes 400 and 500 down the road.
Rourke with pressure in his face, up for grabs, and it falls incomplete. It was Lemon who came around the edge, forced him to get rid of that one.
And a great halftime show tonight. And, you know, thinking about the entertainment angle that this is, you go outside before games all summer long here, and that pregame show, and Sarah McLachlan singing the national anthem. He's taking care of the fans, taking care of the season ticket holders, and what a great crowd here at BC Place.
Yeah, that upper deck open, and a lot of fans up there watching from above here.
Guess what?
As well.
Guess what? Guess what? Look who's coming in.
Levi Mitchell to save the season. Don't go anywhere. Calgary Stampeders took the starting job away from Bo Levi Mitchell and gave it to Jake Mayer about midway through the season, and now they've come back to him.
Two-time Grey Cup champion. Two-time Grey Cup MVP. Can he save the season for Calgary?
They trail by 14. Starting this drive on their own 12. Mitchell down the field looking for Henry, and he hauls it in. How did he do that? With sails all over him. 30 yards to Malik Henry.
And the Grey Cup champion and future Hall of Famer calmly steps in and says, here's how we're going to get things going. Here's the spark I want to bring. I'm going to throw it to the outside corner of my 1,000-yard receiver and trust that he'll bring it in.
30 yards on the first throw of the game for Mitchell. Tries to dump this one off, batted down. Matthew Betts has been an issue on that defensive line so far today.
Over 32,000 passing yards for Bo Levi Mitchell. See what his future brings, but he's got work to do, and he's done and said all the right things since being relegated to the bench. About mid-season, in fact, it was the same weekend that Nathan Rourke hurt his foot. It was August 20th that Jake Mayer took over, and I'm not sure it's been Jake Mayer's fault. But we'll see if Bo Levi Mitchell can change this offense and get some traction.
2nd and 10, Lions bring pressure. He gets it to Beggleton, turning it upfield, working hard. What an effort by Beggleton, and I think they're going to give him a first down. Yes, they are.
Again, patience, knowing where the window is here for Mitchell. He's going to wait this out because he's got to wait for his receiver to get into that window, right over the logo.
1st and 10 from the Calgary 52. Mitchell. Hakunavanu turns it upfield. Stays on his feet after a collision and takes it down inside the 40. That's 6'4", 200-pound Luther Hakunavanu. His first touch of the game. It's like he's feeling that initial collision, isn't he?
Yeah, might have got the wind knocked out of him at the end of it, but the other thing that Bo's going to bring is a real sense of urgency when he gets in the game here to get in and out of the huddle as quick as they possibly can. The clock becomes lots of time left, but
yeah.
but it's something you got to be aware of when you're down 2 scores.
Hakunavanu is down on the field. They're going to take a quick look at him here, and we'll be back to BC Place. Bo Levi Mitchell into this game for the Calgary Stampeders, and hey, his first Grey Cup right here.
Yeah, BC Place against the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and they just threw for over 300. Markway McDaniel now coaching, but mentioned MVP of the Grey Cup twice.
Looked so young there, didn't he? Not that he looks old now, but he really looked young there.
Well, he's got him on the move right now.
3 of 4 for 61 yards. A spark that the Stampeders offense has desperately been looking for all day. Mitchell down the field looking for Henry. Did he haul that in? Yes! Malik Henry does it again. Spectacular. Yeah, do this.
Good protection up front. Mitchell has a chance to spot this ball exactly where he wants to spot it, and he puts it on the outside shoulder where Malik Henry makes an outstanding grab just out of the hands, outreach hand of Gary Peters.
Man, Malik Henry at 110 yards now. Bo Levi with 90 on this drive. Great actors. 1st and goal from the BC 8. Mitchell in trouble, hammered and taken down from behind. Matthew Betts looks to stop the Calgary momentum.
Well, we had a great conversation with Matthew Betts on Zoom this week. He's a funny dude. I mean, he comes around the corner. Talking about him and his teammate David Menard, one from Laval, one from University of Montreal. He was having some fun with that. It was a stand-up comic routine.
Both of them with sacks tonight. 2nd and goal, but from the 17. Mitchell goes underneath to his running back, and it falls incomplete. Kadeem Carey couldn't hang on.
Say I thought Kadeem Carey may have taken a peek there just before the ball arrived, but I'm not sure he did. I think he tried to quick snap it. You see the little chip there from Carey, and then, well, maybe he did take a bit of a peek to where he wanted to run it.
Calgary will decide to take the 3 points here. Paredes knocks it through, and the BC lead sits at 11.
Yeah, and I love that decision.
You do? You like that?
I do. I like. There was a couple that you could probably question, and I'm sure if Calgary doesn't win this game, there will be those who do question some of Coach Dickinson's decisions tonight, but not that one. With basically 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter, you're going to get the ball back 5, 6, maybe more.
And you would have needed 17 yards there for the touchdown.
Yeah, exactly. It just, you take the points, lots of time. You can get 2 or 3 possessions in the final 3 minutes, which we've seen many, many times this year.
Need their defense to come up big. Hand off to Butler, doesn't go anywhere. A couple yards, maybe 3.
Yeah, exactly. And boy, what a game so far for Jameer Thurman, who is really leading that defense by example. So now it's time. 7 tackles for number 56 so far tonight and counting. But they need to get some quick stops and get the ball back to Bo Levi Mitchell.
2nd and 7 for Rourke. 3 options, wide side, out to his right, looks to his left, throws to his left, has Hollins for a first down, and take it outside the BC 50.
Nice little adjustment on right here for Nathan Rourke. He feels the pressure. It's a Rimolade again up the middle, just sliding outside, and Robin and Larry Rourke loving seeing their son go to work here.
A little nervous round of applause.
Yes. Apprehension, seeing a bit of a limp from son Nathan.
He's at 251 passing yards today, has a touchdown as well. 4 receivers out to the right here. They'll hand it off right up the middle. Now trying to kick it out, looking for the first down, and they got it. James Butler bounces back up. That one hurts him a bit, but it was huge for the Lions.
Well, that's the first time in the second half since he was nicked that we've seen that kind of change of direction, speed, and quickness from James Butler. There it is there. That cut, the jump cut, another bounce, and then breaks a tackle. And got up slowly, gutting it out.
Rourke and the Lions with that clock ticking down now inside 6 minutes. You take off a few more minutes and put some points on the board. That's going to go a long way here. Back to Butler again. This time he stopped, but not before he picks up another good 4 or 5 yards on this first down carry.
Yeah, lots of options here for Jordan Maksimic because he, even just getting that 3 points that Calgary just put on the board back and puts him back up to 14 points. 2 majors needed to come back and tie the game. So lots to choose from here. Brent Monson just needs to hold BC to a field goal attempt here at worst, because I believe I would say they're in field goal range now.
Rourke has a man wide open. Up the field, still going as Hollins takes it down inside the 15, close to the 10. He's fired up. Why wouldn't he be? 5th catch of the game.
Well, he does a lot of heavy lifting after he makes the catch here. And boy, Mom and Dad love this one because it's a mistake by Jonathan Moxey, who is like basically their best DB in the back end this season. Western All-Star, but he takes an angle outside, almost like he didn't think Hollins was going to catch that and he might have a chance at a pick. Hollins pulls it in and then does some damage with it after the fact.
After Calgary drives down the field and has to settle for 3, Rourke looking to throw another dagger into him. From the Calgary 13, they'll give it to Butler. And he's able to work it up close to the 10. Most importantly, as Dickinson watches on, he thinks about that clock ticking down inside 4 minutes.
Absolutely, and I know there's probably some sense, see, that's why he should have gone for the major.
Yeah.
But the strategy is you take the 3, but you need your defense to come up with a stop.
Needed a quick 2 and out. Get that ball back with the momentum that you'd gained. Instead, BC looking to suck the life out of them here. 2nd and 7. Rourke looking towards the end zone.
coat, and he'll come down with it. Rourke knows it. Clean catch. Touchdown, BC.
Brian Burnham, you are ridiculous. What a catch. Rourke's at 290 yards, 2 touchdown passes. Kind of quietly putting together a 300-yard day here. And the BC Lions in full control. Baby. Just the 3rd catch of the game for Burnham. None bigger than that.
Got special tape protection and tape job on that right wrist that was the one that gave him problems. Came off the injured list. You know, not only those great catches that he makes, but his veteran presence is huge.
Sean White, automatic, knocks it through, and the BC Lions looking to book a trip to Winnipeg in the West Final at IG Field against the Bombers.
We always talk about how great hands that Brian Burnham has, just outstanding hands throughout his football career, but his body control to go up and twist in the air, time up his jump, win the jump ball as he's going down, knowing he's got to keep his feet in bounds, just unbelievable. Nathan Rourke throws it out, giving his star receiver a chance, and Larry Rourke's getting down. He's having some fun now.
I think his dad's finally starting to feel it, isn't he? He's been pretty on the edge of his seat so far. Yeah. Shorter kick, Longley will take it. And it'll be pushed out just shy of the 40. 2 minutes and 52 seconds, and a whole lot needed from the Calgary Stampeders offense. An offense that really hasn't done anything all day. Left some points on the board with some questionable decisions that you could debate for a while earlier in the game. Jake Mayer, 12 of 22 for 138. No interceptions, but not able to put anything of significance on the board. And that's led to Bo Levi Mitchell, who went 4 for 6, 90 yards on that last drive before being sacked and pushed back to the BC 17. Bo puts together another good drive here. There'll be a discussion of should you have gone to him sooner.
Without question, not only will there be a discussion on that for this game, but a discussion in the offseason if Bo puts another great drive together. Bo Levi Mitchell has a lot of gas in the tank.
4 options out to his right here. Over the middle. Gets it to his #1 target. Henry returning from injury and just having a monstrous game.
Yeah, that was a good decision by Dave Dickinson. Get his star receiver back in the lineup. Peyton Logan had to sit because of it, but I think Malik Henry has done his thing for sure.
Mitchell, Beggleton, first down. Just shy of midfield with 2:34 on the clock.
I want to give full credit though right now to the Lions secondary. That's a veteran group with TJ Lee being sort of like the new Ryan Phillips in the back end there. Ryan Phillips was such a leader, and the secondary has really done a nice job.
Mitchell down the field, another completion as he finds Beggleton. 2:23 on the clock, and Bo Levi well beyond 100 yards now.
Yeah, really quickly, and you know that's what a lot of people I know are going to look at. They're going to say, wait a minute, Jake Mayer threw for 138 in 3 quarters.
Bo's at 129 already. Could surpass him here, and he will as he goes down the field for another completion, this time to Kamar Jordan. That's his first catch of the ball game, and in just a matter of moments, the Stampeders all of a sudden are knocking on the door.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is a play where, you know, I should say too that the Lions are going to play when you're up 3 scores. You're going to play a little bit differently defensively. Make sure no one gets in behind you in one quick strike. So there should be some more room underneath.
Mitchell, far side. That one in and out of the hands of Jordan. And that one will fall incomplete. 2nd and 10 on the BC 14.
But this is the 17th consecutive year in the playoffs. 14 of those 17. John Huffnagel has been the president and general manager of this team, taking over back in 08 as the coach. That great speech in Montreal in the Grey Cup. And Dave Dickinson part of those 14 years. And you can question a couple of decisions for sure by Coach Dickinson, but you know, including Kadeem Carey with 1 carry in the first quarter.
Yeah, didn't really get him established at all. 2nd and 10 now. Mitchell towards the end zone. Flag on the play.
That would be PI.
Akunavanu was held up by Jalen Edwards-Cooper in the end zone.
Yeah, that'll put it on the 1-yard line. So that Akunavanu came out of his break on the corner out there. He got grabbed by Edwards-Cooper.
Defensive pass interference, BC number 29. Ball will be placed on the 1-yard line. 1st down, Calgary.
You're going to get like a corner out here and watch 29 down the field right there with the grab and a pull on the shoulder pad, not allowing Akunavanu to run that one down.
Mitchell. Kadeem Carey towards the end zone, and he's in. Touchdown Calgary for the first time today. They find the end zone, but is it too little, too late for the visitors?
Well, take a look. Every touchdown is reviewed to make sure the ball crosses the goal line. So let's take another look. It looks like he did break the plane just before he went down by contact. It's an important look though, because if he was down before he crossed the line, he'd have to run another play. I'm not sure there was enough evidence there to overturn the call, which was touchdown.
Well, Levi Mitchell finds himself in a weird spot. Maybe your final game with the Calgary Stampeders, very likely your final game with the Calgary Stampeders, and you're looking very good, but you're trying to get your team back into this thing.
Well, let's take another look, because they're taking too long. This is a long look at that touchdown, and it's important because even if it takes 20 seconds off the clock to run another play.
After automatic review of the scoring play by command center, the ball carrier was down short of the goal line. It will be 2nd down on the 1-yard line.
Well, I'll tell you, this is the best look, but again, the ruling on the field is touchdown. So do you see enough?
Right there.
I guess the right knee, yeah. The right knee touches.
It's tough though, because it's just behind the line. The camera's just behind the line, right? So
yeah,
tough look.
Yeah, but I missed that knee first in the first look at that same angle.
Tommy Stevens, a big fella, into the game. 9 rushing touchdowns in the regular season. Looks to add to it in the postseason. Reaches over, and he certainly looked like he was in. He is touchdown Calgary. So took them a little bit longer, 10 seconds more, but they are able to eventually punch it home here. 8-play, 71-yard drive.
So now Calgary goes with the straight onside kick team. There's a couple of different ways to do that.
Stevens finishes it. Interesting play earlier in the game when it was 3rd and short. Instead of just pushing it ahead, they handed it off to Malik Henry and turned it over on downs. A couple of big turnovers on downs on BC's side of the field for Calgary in this game. And you see what they're trailing by, and you wonder what could have been.
Kick the extra point and then onside kick time.
Paredes knocks it through, and with 93 seconds on the clock, we have an 11-point ball game.
at BC Place.
So a couple of options here on the onside kick, and Rene Paredes, who is the Western All-Star and nominee for the Stampeders and their Special Teams Player of the Year, has been excellent in his career on onside kicks. You could try the sky ball to the sideline, and Mark Killam, one of the best special teams coaches in the game. Or you can line up like you try in that sky ball to the sideline, and then just kind of punch it forward and have the kicker run and recover it, or someone
try to slide on top of it
right beside the kicker. So Don Janowski, the special teams coordinator for the Lions, is going to try and combat this onside kick, and what he does is he tells that front line, you go and block, don't worry about the ball, let the guys like Dominique Grimes, who's lined up on one side, I believe it's Catoy on the other, to let those guys catch the ball. You just try and block someone from getting there. Got to go 10 yards.
Paredes looking to get this ball back for the Stampeders. It is up, hauled in and held on to. Catoy goes up, gets it cleanly, and the Lions secure the football.
Kick pretty good, maybe just a tad deep. If it, you know, it's got to be so precise here. If it's just 10, his cover team has a chance. If it's 14 to 15, you're probably not going to get there.
So BC gets that ball back, leading 27-16. Winnipeg Blue Bombers watching on and waiting to see if it will indeed be these Lions that they'll face next Sunday. Rourke hands it off just beyond the line of scrimmage. Let's get to your Advil dual action play of the game. This was a big one.
Timeout. Well, it's a third down, short yardage play by Antonio Pipkin to Keon Hatcher. 45-yard touchdown throw on third down. Gave the Lions a 2-score lead. Huge play.
Big swing in this game. Great look at Jake Mayer and Bo Levi Mitchell. Wonder what's going through the head of Jake Mayer right now as he watches from the sideline. Here's Rourke, also in his first playoff start. Down the field for Hatcher, drops it in and he'll hang on. Can't get any better than that, can ya? That'll put him over 300 yards in his playoff debut.
Post route from one side, dragging all the way across, and the accuracy on the throw as he's fading away from it to throw it behind the DB in Wall and in front of the safety in Dozier. Tremendous accuracy.
Keon Hatcher is now at 162 yards today. Just shy of his high game on the season, which was 166. Rourke sits at 321 with a couple of touchdowns. Calgary's definitely going to bring some pressure here, trying to stop this run. And can't do it. Butler pushing ahead again. That'll put him over 90 yards on the day. It's a hard 90 yards for James Butler,
who has gutted it out since an early injury. Stayed in the game. 91 rushing yards. Some great pickups on blitz to protect his quarterback. And gutsy effort by 24.
2nd and 7 for Rourke. Back to Butler again. Pushing towards the 5. He will be stopped just short of that. How about on the other side of this thing? Calgary today, just between Kadeem Carey and Dietrich Mills, 59 yards rushing for the Calgary Stampeders offense, a group that had rushed for close to 1,000 yards in their last 5 games. 59 today for Carey and Mills.
Yeah, when the Stampeders do the autopsy on this one, they're going to go back and I'm sure second guess some things. I mean, Now the narrative changes. It shifts. Zach Collaros against Kid Canada, and he's a little bit nicked out. We saw him limping off, but you know, there'll be lots of discussions, but this is as solid as coaching staff as you'll get. Management staff in Calgary. They've got a great quarterback in Jake Maier. Tonight wasn't his night.
First playoff start on the road, not an ideal situation. Sean White puts it through. Lions on top 30-16. Calgary will watch on as the BC Lions advance to the West Final against the Bombers.
They lost by 7, or excuse me, the BC Lions lost in a big way early on. A couple of possessions to Winnipeg.
The one time they beat them, Drew Brown was at quarterback for the Bombers.
Exactly. The Bombers had already locked up first. Rourke didn't play in that one. He did play a few series in the last game of the regular season.
How awesome is it here in BC Place right now?
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, the buzz around this team all season, but certainly in the last 2 or 3 weeks, when we heard the news that Nathan Rourke could return.
Certainly not 100%.
Nope.
But not being 100% was still good for 321 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions. Looked after the football, made the big plays when required, and did more than enough for his BC Lions to be comfortably on top as they kick it away one more time. Longley will grab it, and that'll do it for the Calgary Stampeders season, as he will eventually be tracked down just shy of the 40. And boy, do we have a great matchup next Sunday in Winnipeg.
What about this guy and his future?
We know he's a free agent stock, didn't he?
We know he's going to the Hall of Fame one day. But from all accounts, he wants to continue playing. And I'm sure there'll be a couple of teams that'll be very, very interested in Bo Levi Mitchell, and I think he kind of solidified again tonight. He's got more football in him.
8 of 11 for 147 yards, in the discussion that maybe the Stampeders should have gone to him sooner to save their season.
Start the debate now.
Bo Levi Mitchell one last time with the Calgary Stampeders. This time it ends in defeat. BC Lions 30-16. Nathan Rourke successful in his first playoff start. A different story today for Jake Maier. Amar Doman and his BC Lions, a sensational performance in front of just a monstrous home crowd here at BC Place.
And a great effort by the BC Lions defensive backfield. I thought they played a fantastic game, making it very difficult for Jake Maier to find open receivers, even when he had time. And Maier ends up on the bench at the end of this game with Bo Levi Mitchell. Getting some things done, but not enough.
Excellent day for the BC Lions from start to finish. Dominant on both sides of the football. Nathan Rourke, a couple of touchdowns. Antonio Pipkin on 3rd and short. Keon Hatcher, a massive day, 162 yards and a touchdown. Stampeders eliminated. BC Lions advance to the West Final at IG Field in Winnipeg. Start the countdown. 7 sleeps until we get to do that game. That's going to do it for us. Good night from Vancouver.